students to peer inside their fiery hearts.
I encouraged then one of our students, Elizabeth Kirk, and I said, Elizabeth, why don't we do telescopic measurements of this? What we saw in the first few images, some sprites at least, were consisting of just a whole lot of hundreds of filaments forming the body of the sprite.
Inan's telescope helped prove that a sprite, which at first was thought to shoot up, actually fires downwards. They're not a single bolt, but a multitude of interlaced lightning channels. The picture was being completed. To see giant lightning, time must be stopped. This is because sprites happen even faster than the blink of an eye. Sprites are generated in the electric field above a storm. The first thing seen is a flat disk called a halo. It appears at a height of 85 kilometers. The field must be strong enough for the halo to grow into a sprite. Electricity flows down to make a red balloon of energy the size of a mountain range. As the charge flows down, denser air squeezes the current into 30-meter-wide filaments. The sprite showers 100 square kilometers of these blue lightning shards onto cloud tops and then disappears. But what pulls vast currents from space to make huge towers of electrical energy? Could some monstrous force conjure sprites from below the clouds? And could this in turn help explain some of the most mysterious air disasters since the dawn of the jet age? The glamorous advertising for the new jets had helped foster the myth that lightning could not hit a plane in flight.
The jet age is now here. Flying will be above the weather.
But jets were not immune to weather. Lightning was striking planes often.
About each 1,500 hours of flight, which is about 1 or 2 lightning flash per aircraft and per year. So it's not a rare event, so it's a very common event.
Planes are not usually harmed by lightning. Although strikes reach 100 million volts, they last only milliseconds. The metal skin of a jet plane allows the electricity to pass through harmlessly, leaving only superficial damage. But here was a deadly conundrum. Lightning strikes have killed 483 people in 5 major plane crashes in 30 years. The disaster that ended the myth that jets were safe from lightning happened in 1963. A recording exists of the moment.
Station 3 of a plane crash, 8:59. Respond your ambulances to a plane crash at Delancey Road, just east of Elson, 906.
The emergency services tape records the aftermath of Pan American Flight 214. On descent to Philadelphia in 1963, the plane flew into a storm, then crashed into a cornfield, killing all 81 people aboard. The official inquiry blamed a fuel tank explosion, but said a massive lightning strike had blown off part of a wing and burnt through rivets. If planes were safe from lightning, what had brought down Flight 214?
Well, we're in Elkton, Maryland. It's the scene of an airline crash where my father was a pilot, Pan American Flight 214, December 8th, 1963. And I'm here to talk with people who witnessed the event and to find out more about it in general, particularly because there's some new evidence at this time that there are certain types of lightning strikes that may be much more powerful than scientists previously had estimated. The gentleman can describe to me what you saw the night of December 8th, 1963.
Well, my good friend Ray Krause here and I had just dropped our wives off here at church for choir practice. And we was on Delaware Avenue, approximately 2 blocks on the way back in town. And it was a flash of lightning. And the whole sky lit up. I mean, it was just like daylight around here. And it did look like it went dead into the plane. And then the big boom. I said, that's a big commercial airline. They might be over 100 people. We knew there's no one survived.
Well, the two gentlemen that we spoke to, one actually saw the bolt of lightning hit the plane, and he described it as, pretty intense and bright, which tends to support the theory that there are stronger lightning bolts. So if I can find out a little bit more about it, it'll help me to understand why I lost my father and why 80 other people who died lost their lives.
Weathermen would have to throw away their textbooks to solve the mystery.
If you go back and look at the textbooks from 20, 30 years ago, most people thought lightning was a giant spark that lowered negative charge from the cloud down to the ground.
Scientists had known since 1773 that lightning was electricity. It was found to come in two types that either repel or attract, negative or positive. Well into the 1970s, weathermen knew of only one type of lightning, negative charged bolts.
With the advent of lightning detection networks and other systems to look at really what's going on inside the lightning discharge, we found out that a number of them sort of worked in reverse. They lowered positive charge to ground, and these became known as positive lightning. We didn't realize there were such major differences. They don't just strike, over, say, 10 milliseconds. They strike, and then they just burn away for hundreds and hundreds of milliseconds, which is an eternity when you're being lit up by 50,000 kiloamps.
Positive lightning could explain the Elkton enigma.
The Elkton crash was during winter, and there isn't that much lightning in the northeastern United States during winter, but when there is, it tends to be positive. There is a fair amount of lightning in intense snowstorms, and our experience has shown that that's often positive and very powerful.
Flight 214 had been engulfed by the type of storm bristling with positive lightning. A positive bolt would unleash many times the current and burn far longer than ordinary lightning. A strike by positive lightning could explain the fate of Flight 214. But until a plane crash investigator saw his friend blasted from the sky, the true power of this new form of positive lightning would remain a mystery. In 1993, the world of weathermen had been rocked by the discovery of a giant form of lightning above the clouds. They'd only recently found another breed of superbolts below the clouds